Keys Guide to Freedom. This episode, we're going to be talking about what exactly is freedom. What is Keys Guide to Freedom? I wanted to break it down because it's very important. I'm your host, TK. Welcome to the show. So, I remember a few years ago, about actually it was more than that, it was about 10 years ago, climbing up. I ended up getting into network marketing. And I liked it because it was asking questions that I already asked myself. Prior to that, I was working in corporate America. I was making good money, but I never seen my family. I was, I would drop my son off at school in the morning, which I'm happy I was able to do, but I wouldn't be able to get to him till it was almost bedtime before I get settled in from a long day. Um, and someone asked me a question. It was like, if time and money wasn't an issue, where would you go? What would you do? And it hit me because up until that point, it's like you never really think about your time, which leads me to my very first thing to talk about, right? So I'm in my mid 40s. I have aging parents. My parents are in their 70s. And watching them and helping them, it it's opening my eyes to how much time gets wasted in life, right? It's kind of one of those things where you don't realize it until it's gone. Time is the biggest currency that we have. It's the real only currency. The reason why is because once you spend it, you can never get it back, right? Once you spent some time with somebody or time not doing nothing or time sleeping, it's gone and it goes by so fast, right? I know some of you guys may be really young and you look at your life like all you have is time. It goes fast, and the question you always have to ask yourself is: am I spending my time uh, correctly? Am I the time that I'm invested? Is it giving me what I need or what I want to grow or to meet whatever standard I have in my life? So it's important. So as you might be listening to this, I'll just do an audit, right? That's what I had to do. I did audits. And I'm looking like, okay, if I'm making $25 an hour, but I hate my job, I'm literally spending my most important currency to be miserable. And I'm only paying myself $25. Like, whoa, right? It's a concept that we don't really understand because we're program as you know as soon as we we get of age to trade our time for money but never ask ourselves how valuable is our time for real. So when i when I created Keys Guide to Freedom, I created it with these things in mind. Your time is so important, right? I'm a father, I'm a husband, and there are uh, times that I missed with my kids growing up, not because I was, a deadbeat dad, just from working. There's things I couldn't go to. There were, it's just life. There's instead of me playing, I'm working. Like it happens, right? And they have a thing that was always said, like you can't be in two places at one time. And if you have all your time, then you ain't got no money. But if you have all your money and you ain't got no time, and time is the most invaluable thing, then what really do you have? A bunch of superficial stuff that makes you feel better for giving your life away, right? So, I want to talk about that. And not that money isn't important because the second pillar of Keith's Guide to Freedom is finances, right? Because you need money. Let's keep it a buck, right? You cannot eat happiness and you cannot eat joy, right? You can't, you know, your your happiness doesn't pay your rent and it doesn't feed your children, so you absolutely need money. But the question becomes, how much is enough, right? And if I'm a good steward of my money, can I then use that to better my life? Right. So the question becomes not how much money do I need to be considered financial? Well, that is the question. How much money do I need to be financially free? And the reality is, you do not need $1 million. I know everybody like $100,000 a year, right? It's kind of like a weird magic number that everybody goes to. And as someone who has earned $100,000 a year, it's not that much. Like you can still be living the same type of lifestyle, and you look like, damn, we made how much? Whoa, didn't feel like it. You might have, a couple of stuff, you might upgrade some things, but you know, it's it's not about the number, it's about how much does it really cost you to live? What is the amount? Because a lot of times, and I mean this like respectfully, what happens typically is you acclimate to whatever your income is, right? So if you were making 50 grand, you're gonna live like you make 50 grand, right? You're gonna spend it. And if you make 100 grand, guess what? You're gonna upgrade your car, you might upgrade your place, your clothes, like everything is gonna upgrade, which is cool, right? But if it's keeping you in a place where all you doing is kind of working this wheel, but you're not really getting ahead, and really what it is. So what do you do? Because this is kids out the film. So what do? We assess how much. What are the things that we would consider necessary for a happy life, right? Of course, you need shelter. Of course, you need food. You need your basic needs. What do you need to go out? Okay. You want to take a vacation? Okay. You want to go take time for the beach? You want to, like assess what does it cost for you to live happy? And here's the cool thing, and here's the best thing, right? When we're talking about money, because there's so many different ways to make money right now, right? Um, Me and my wife was having a conversation about possibly, thinking about looking at different countries to move in. I've been kind of thinking about that for some years, but like I said, I have aging parents, and I'm not at that point where I can just dip out and leave them. But we're in talks about where will we go, what we do, and the thing is nowadays, and I believe it because as a former owner of a travel agency for 10 years, I can tell you that people are learning that they can live abroad, make money with the internet. Now, the internet is, I believe, where the economy going. We were in a warehouse and in corporate setting a lot uh, in my generation and generations prior to me. But now this is the era of content creation, podcasting, uh, e-commerce. So a lot of business runs through the internet, which means that you can run something through the internet, whether you have something that you sell online, um, something that you create, or you just talk on through a camera like I'm doing here. There's ways where you can now earn an income. So the question becomes, if the place I am is requiring too much money and I have resources, why can't I just move to another place? Right? Because what this gives us is location freedom, right? It gives us the internet gives us freedom to live in different places, which means that I can now go someplace where the cost of living isn't so high. I'm in California, so the cost of living isn't so high, and we can live a quality of life. Which brings me to my next point, right? What do you consider a qual? What do you consider your current quality of life? If we already established that time was the most important thing, because you can never get it back. The next question becomes, okay, what am I going to do with that time if money wasn't the issue? If I can somehow carve out a living where Instead of me needing $8,000, $3,300 a month, I only need 22 or 18, right? But I'm making 36. Okay, that's cool. You have to invest your money because it's important to make sure that your money is working for you. I'm not going to get into that, but I am going to do a podcast strictly about different ways where you can make your money work for you. But investing is one of those things, right? You invest because your money needs to work for you. And once your investments replace your income, then you freed yourself from that too. But like I said, we'll talk about that another time. Right now, I just want to get into that core. So once we at that level where it's like, okay, where can I go? What can I do? My time is now belongs to me, and I can now take it and pursue the things that I want to do. I want to learn a different language. I want to, learn how to pot. I want to learn how to dance. I want to surf, like whatever it may be. Now you have that time. I want to explore. I want to learn different cultures. Now you can, put time in yourself. I want to take my children and let them learn different cultures and feed into the future. Right? These are the things that a lot of times when we get stuck in a rat race, it steals from us because all we're focused on is, you know, putting in our time so we can get our paychecks so we can pay our bills. And we end up sitting up watching TV all day, sleeping, until you got to get up in the next morning and do it all over again. But the reality of the situation is that's not freedom. And the reality of the situation is a lot of people are not happy with that life, but we do it out of routine, right? Out of programming. We get programmed. But the question I ask myself is, what am I going to do that's different? You see, when I'm watching my parents, my dad worked his whole life, my mom worked her whole life. They retired, they get retirement, but retirement is and inflation don't run hand in hand. So although, they living comfortably at any given point, if anything change, because they're basing off of whatever they put into the system, they can't go out and work no more. So who wants to, like living is an important situation, and being able to have that flexibility to go and be free is, to me, the only thing that's really important. You tell me what you guys think, because that seems to me that's in my opinion, that's really life. It's the quality, is what the time I get to spend with the people I love, and how I spend it. Like, I thank God that I do have the ability to, you know, drop what I'm doing and just run over there and help them out because I was stuck at a job, I couldn't do it. And a lot of times they really needed me, and I wouldn't have been able to be there, which, would have kind of killed me inside. So being in a position where I can be like, I'll be there in a minute, go stop and do what they need to do and then get back on, it's everything. It's everything, right? So the question, it's not even like a question, but it's a statement. What are you doing currently to not trade your time for money? What are you doing? When the last time you assessed your financial situation to really just do an audit on your finances to be like, hey, listen, this is how much money we got coming in. This is our expenses. This is how much we got left over. What can we do with this to maximize um, our time, grow our income, and minimize the time that we have to spend in earning it, right? And then the other question is, because without a vision, will people perish? Once I get my time and my money back, what am I going to do with my personal freedom, right? What am I going to do now that I have my time back? How am I going to grow? What are some things that I always wanted to do, places that I always wanted to go, things that I always wanted to learn? Like, that is the beginning of living, right? So I asked you all that because I was asking myself um, just some things that was on my mind. And I'm like, I want to talk to the people for a second. But like I said, this is the premise of Key's Guide to Freedom. To have your time because that's the most important thing. To have money because you can then do what you want, and personal freedom, the vision to grow in the ways that you want to grow. All right. Think about that. Let me know what you guys think. How are you going to assess that? And let me know some of the things that you might want to learn because full of knowledge. So if there's different ways to make money online, different methods, things to invest in. Um, if you guys ain't know by now, I'm heavily invested in crypto. I am invested in metaverse. I'm developing land in metaverse currently. I'm super psyched about that. It's a whole new world. It's a whole new playing field, basically. And it's time for us to get on that train. Right, the old world is kind of is dying down. We have AI and robotics that's coming down this pipeline, and it's coming fast. And we have to be prepared, right? The use for human labor is dwindling, so we have to kind of start to get off that old program and start to open up to the possibility that life is actually pretty good. We just have to plan better and we have to do better. So I'm your boy TK. This is Keys Guide to Freedom. I appreciate you for taking the time to hear me out. Peace.